A growing number of women are traveling for their jobs, and a large majority say personal safety is a big issue. 83% of female travelers say they have experienced at least one safety-related concern or incident. Cheri Marchionda was traveling alone for work when a man got access to her room at an Iowa Embassy Suites hotel and then sexually assaulted her. She just settled a civil suit against the hotel management and owner. CBS This Morning Saturday co-host Dana Jacobson sat down with her, and it's an interview you'll see only on CBS This Morning. Good morning, Dana.
Good morning. Cheri Marchionda and I spoke just days after that settlement was reached. She told me she used to average a trip a week for work, and she took the same precautions so many of us do in a hotel room, like locking the door and then using that safety bolt. But on this particular trip to Des Moines, Iowa, another hotel guest still managed to get into her room where she had already gone to sleep for the night.
The next thing I remember is someone touching my leg. It startled me. I woke up thinking I was at home. So at first I'm like rubbing my eyes and I'm like, wait a minute. No, you're in this room. And then who is this guy? And so, in these seconds you're trying to process, like, who is this person at the end of your bed? And that's when he said, you're not going to scream rape.
Cheri Marchionda's life changed forever on April 10th, 2014, after the man seen in this surveillance video obtained a key to her hotel room from the front desk without having to verify his identity. He entered her room in the middle of the night, sexually assaulted and raped her for over 2 hours.
What went through your mind, if you can even remember at that point?
He had something in his hand. Was it a knife? Was it a gun? Was it the remote control? I don't know. But at that moment, you're so scared because you don't know what's happening or what's going to happen. I remember him trying to nestle his head in my neck. I remember him pulling my pajamas off.
Did you try to scream even though he had told you not to?
Yes, you think you are, but nothing comes out. You think you're kicking and your legs don't move. And the freezing is the hardest part, I think, for me, because I'm this tough girl and I've been traveling all on my own. And, you think if it ever happens to you, you're gonna kick butt. And in that moment, you want to survive. And that's all I thought about, was surviving, because I had these 3 beautiful children I wanted to go home to.
Marchionda is a single mom of 3 from Pennsylvania, and at the time, she was an executive at one of the largest frozen food manufacturers in the United States.
What was the last thing maybe you remember from when he was there with you?
The last thing I remember is saying to him, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. Let me throw up. And he's like, you're not going to throw up. You'll be fine. I went out to the living area and I saw like he was gone. So then I relocked the door and then moved the chair over from the desk and went right into the shower. It was like you're literally scrubbing your body as hard as you can. At some point I remember being so tired I just sat down and just cried in the tub.
Did you think at all, I should call the police? I need to report this?
No, I didn't even think. I don't think you think in that instance.
Marchionda's attacker, Christopher LaPointe, was a regular guest at this Embassy Suites. She says he approached her at the hotel bar the night she checked in, and again the following night, hours before entering her room. She says he flirted with her, and in that second encounter, described him as loud, obnoxious, and visibly drunk. She says she tried to keep him at a distance, eventually left the bar, and returned to her room alone.
You go into your room, and what did you do?
You lock your door, you put the extra padlock, the safety lock on, and you go to bed,
So what happened?
My room phone rang. I pick up the phone, and that's when he said, do you want to hang out? And I recognized the voice from the last 2 days, and I said, no. And that's when I said, how did you get this number? And he said to me, I have friends.
Were you nervous at this point, knowing that he knew what room you were in?
No, because I had the lock on. There was nothing to worry about. You get into a room, that's your safe haven, no matter where you are, no matter what kind of hotel it is. That's kind of your place.
According to court documents, not only did the front desk fail to perform a mandatory identity check, but when LaPointe first tried to enter her room, the security latch was in place. He then called the front desk to send up a maintenance man to disable the latch, again with no ID verification. In December 2014, LaPointe pleaded guilty to sexual abuse.
The man who raped you is serving 20 years in prison. But was that enough justice for you?
It wasn't. I wanted the people that gave him the key to be held accountable as well.
In 2015, Marchionda filed a civil suit against the companies that owned and managed the Embassy Suites Hotel in Des Moines, alleging negligence and carelessness. This month, they settled for an undisclosed amount.
Where are things after this, 5 years later almost?
I'm on long-term disability now, which then eliminated my position at my company. I would probably say for the first 3 years, I thought it was just me who was going through this. These last 2 years have been an eye-opener for not only my children, but my brother, my dad, my mom, my cousins, my uncle. You know, when you're kind of like that apple of somebody's eye and that you're working so hard in your career and your uncle is so proud of you, to have to know that he knows what happened to you, say to you on the phone that he's just so proud of you. But at the end of the day, he still looks at me like this broken person that he just wants to put his arms around and protect.
It's not an easy story to tell. Why did you feel you needed to tell it?
So people are aware that when you think you're going to go into a hotel room and that you're going to go to sleep and close your eyes and that you're safe, you're not. They need to figure out a better system within the industry to figure out how to keep people safe.
Atrium Hospitality, which owns that franchise of Embassy Suites in Des Moines, tells us it's focused on industry-leading safety practices to provide for its guests. The company added that the terms of the settlement are confidential. John Q. Hammonds, which managed the hotel, has no comment at this time.
Wow.
Really frightening story.
She's already settled, so Cheri's speaking out because she wants to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody else.
Exactly, because it's one of those situations so many of us find ourselves in, and you cannot believe, as you all said to me at that moment, the safety latch was undone and all of your jaws dropped.
I had no idea they could break it like that, too.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
A lesson for all of us when we're away, and we're actually going to get into that tomorrow. It's a rare incident, but it's not isolated. In recent years, there have actually been several similar cases reported, and tomorrow we're going to have more on that and the ways that women travelers can try to protect themselves, all of us, really.
It's a really important story, Dana. Thank you.
Thank you.